Vice Admiral Robert Harward and Ambassador Kurt Volker. Admiral, start with you here. You were the Deputy Central Command commander. Your job was to come up with plans for the president, brief him, give him options. Right now, what options would you be giving to President Trump in terms of escalation in the Persian Gulf, taking Kharg Island, what targets in Iran to hit next?
I think the Secretary of War and CENTCOM's probably given him all the options he needs. And as you just noted,
but what would they be? Give us the escalation list.
Well, not just Kharg Island, but all the islands Iran controls. That's important to their flow of commerce, not just oil, but trade in the region. And instead of destroying those islands, as you just talked about, they're bringing the MU out. Those would be easy targets for the MU to take all of those islands. And that's important because instead of destroying that oil infrastructure, you stop their use of it. But when the regime is gone, you're able to turn it over to the next government. So that's one option. There's a whole plethora of other options to make sure you keep the Gulf open. Continue to eradicate the drones and the missiles, provide escorts. So all those options are on the table. I'm sure they're racking and stacking them as we speak.
All right. Ambassador Volker, 2 weeks in, and Chris Cuomo made this point at the top of the show. President Trump, with his attack on Iran, has redrawn the map of the Middle East because Iran escalated. They attacked their neighbors, including Dubai and others. Those neighbors have all lined up on the side of the United States and Israel. Big miscalculation by Iran. How does Trump exploit that going forward?
Well, first off, Leland, I think that what we're beginning to see here with the deployment of the Marines is a recognition from the Trump administration that air attacks alone are not going to remove the regime. And if we want to restabilize the region, if we want to open the Gulf of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, the Persian Gulf, we're going to have to actually make sure the Iranian regime is gone. And that's number one. Now, the Persian Gulf states, or the Arab states in the region, they are always on America's side to begin with. You know, we have bases in Bahrain, we have bases in Qatar, very close relations throughout the region. They're not joining the fight themselves, but they are very much our allies in this. And I think that what we need to do is show them that we are prepared to take this all the way, that we're not going to stop halfway, leave the Iranian regime intact, let them rebuild, let them start a new nuclear program. We're not going to do that. We're going to go all the way. If we do that, we will have them clearly on our side, and then we can reshape the region as we're talking about. But there has to be no doubt that America's resolve here is 100%.
100% to win. Nothing succeeds like success. I think also you're saying that you've got to fight to win. This was Secretary Hegseth and Chairman Kaine today talking about how the fight looked right now. Take a listen.
Between our Air Force and that of the Israelis, over 15,000 enemy targets have been struck. That's well over 1,000 a day. No other combination of countries in the world can do that.
We've attacked over 6,000 targets, and our strike packages continue to launch every hour.
Admiral, in Vietnam, we had the body count, and the body count always showed way more North Vietnamese and Viet Cong died than Americans, therefore we are winning. Now we have the bomb count of the number of targets struck. Is that the right way to measure victory and success? Or, as Ambassador Volker laid out, we're going to have to realize that there's other measures as well?
That's true. And here are the measures of success. Aside from the number of strikes, is the number of missile launchers, the number of missiles, the amount of drones in their inventory we've taken out. On top of that, indicators inside the country, and we're starting to hear rumors of some desertions. We're hearing support from the police on protesters. So there's a whole series of metrics, and this is a much different war, unlike Vietnam. In fact, very unlike in any other war where we're going after this regime. The other indicator could be how many targets of those were IRGC, leadership, how many key leaders. So there's a lot of different metrics you can lay on the table to indicate your success. I think in all of those lanes, they're doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that. From what you're seeing, two-part question. A, is America fighting to win? And B, do you agree with Ambassador Volker that the Marines coming are a tacit admission, maybe not that they're going to use boots on the ground, but they might need to?
Without a doubt. I think the ambassador has it right on. We're not only, we put everything position, it hasn't met the final objectives, we'll bring more. So he's got it exactly right. We're going after this with everything we got, and we'll bring more if it's necessary. And so this message, not only to the regime, but to the Iranian people, will help trigger those events that set the conditions for regime change. It's inevitable. There's no doubt this is going to happen.
Well, I like your optimism. Ambassador Volker, your last word is to you. There's been so much talk in the American media about the timeline, that this has gone on now for 13 days. What's the exit strategy? Why hasn't it ended now? On and on and on and on. The Gulf countries remember the first Iraq War, where the air war lasted 40-plus days. Second Gulf War, the Iraq War, same thing, well over a month. Will the Gulf allies stick around and continue to support America for as long as America is in the fight, or do they have a timeline too?
No, I think they will, as long as they believe that we are. What they worry about is that we're going to lose patience, we're going to lose interest, we're going to turn away, and they will be stuck holding the bag in the region. That's what they worry about. As long as we show determination and resolve, they'll be with us. And I just want to make a point, Leland. I want to remind everybody of 2005, 2006, 2007. Admiral Harward and I were both in the National Security Council at that time. And we were getting great reports about the metrics of how we were defeating the terrorists in Iraq, how we were making progress, but we weren't making fundamental progress. And I think we kind of all realized that a little bit too late. So here, what I hope that the Trump administration realizes, and that what we do in this situation, is go all the way as quickly as we can. There must be no holding back. We have to recognize that we can take out Iran's ability to strike others. We can take out their missiles. We can take out their Navy. But as long as they have the resolve to remain in power, they will, unless we are willing to bring forces to bear much closer to home. We need a regime change in whatever way we can do that. The less costly, the better. But we have to be willing to go all the way this time.
It is an excellent, excellent point, in that if the regime stays in power in any way, they think it is a win. Ambassador, Admiral, two wonderful voices here on this Friday night. Thank you both.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.